Good morning, everybody. Phi Farley here. It is Tuesday, April 24th, and we're back at the big slate of games today in Major League Baseball. And boy, there were some good games. Last night, I was rolling through, really excited to get to them this morning. I wanted to see where the lines moved, and I'm going to get right to it. Before I do, though, subscribe if you haven't done so. Get in on this so we can follow through the whole season. And track my games. And I put my record down in the description, so you can check that out at all times. And I'll get it updated again for today. Yesterday, boy, I was on the right side of one game, the wrong side of the other. I was on the wrong side of the Braves. It was the most publicly bet game yesterday, and I should have known that. There's not going to be value in that kind of a game. That was my bad. The other one, Baltimore, was the right side. They out-hit Cleveland. They had one bad pitch, which gave Cleveland their 2 runs. Other than that, it was a 4-hit. No other runs scored. They had 7 hits. They had runners in scoring position. 6th inning, 7th inning, 8th inning. They just could not get the job done. So, hey, I'll rather be on the wrong side of a plus 170 home team trying to get the win than holding on to my minus 200 ticket. Trying to hope they can hold out on a team that has runners in scoring position every inning. So anyway, sometimes that's the way baseball works. So that's why we have 162 games and a full 5 months of baseball to wager on. So moving on to today. All right, I got 3 games to get to. The first is Jacob Faria, Tampa Bay, visiting Baltimore. So now I'm fading Baltimore. I love it. So here we go. Jacob Faria has been fantastic this year. He's had one bad outing, and it was simply the spot. All right. So he played against Boston. First, he pitched against Boston and did well the opening week of baseball in the first. And then the very next week, his next start was at Boston, of which he got shelled. That's not Jacob Faria's fault. That happens all the time. If you go consecutive games against a team, and if you work favorably, whether it's on the offense or the defensive side, it goes the other way in the second outing. So if this had worked in reverse, I would expect the opposite to have happened in the second game. But he did well in the first outing. Second outing, he got shelled. 5 hits, 8 runs. Then back to work. 5 1/3 against the Phillies. Great offense. 2 hits, 1 run. Second one, 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 run against Texas. I don't mind backing Faria at all here. Alex Cobb, man, wheels are falling off for him. 2 outings, he's given up 10 hits. It hasn't gotten to the 4th inning yet. So I just, he's not that bad of a pitcher. I take that back. I didn't say he got to the 4th. He hasn't completed the 4th inning yet. But, he's not this bad of a pitcher. He's going to figure it out, and he'll be much better. He's getting his first home start of the season, so I expect Cobb to be a much better pitcher today. However, Tampa Bay has won 4 straight games. They have outscored Baltimore to this point in the season by 30 runs. They've scored 15 more than Baltimore has. They've given up 15 less than Baltimore has. They've won 4 straight. Baltimore's lost 3 straight and only won 1 of the last 10. So I'm going to be backing Tampa Bay. We're getting them at a minus 110 right now. So I think that's good value to get Tampa Bay on the road here. So that's the first game. Second game, I got Jose Barrios at a plus 130. So the other take on this game is you could take the under if you'd like. If you don't want to risk the plus 130, you'd rather go with a minus 110. I think the under is good. I don't like taking 2 sides in one game. I want to take the better of the 2. So for me, I think the better of the 2 is a plus 130 at New York. New York is, of course, the most publicly bet team. They're getting 82% of the tickets. 70% of the money is on New York. Which there is a deviation there, which means there's bigger money going over on the Minnesota side. The only thing I don't like about this, Barrios has been fantastic this year. I mean, we're talking about as good as you can get, holding aside one game, and that was against the Seattle Mariners. Other than that, Barrios has been 7 innings, 9 innings, only 3 runs, 3 hits per game, 0 runs, 0 home runs, only 1 walk this season. I mean, he's just been fantastic. The only thing I don't like is he's coming off a very emotional outing in Puerto Rico against Cleveland, which we backed him and it ended up going like 16 innings. Minnesota ended up getting the win. Hopefully he can bounce back and have a good outing in New York and not let the bright lights and the big scene get to him in the big city. So that's my only concern with this game. Barrios, even I just think he's a good enough pitcher to hold the Yankees down. I question whether Minnesota can score against CC Sabathia, but at a plus 130 on Barrios, I'll take that. And so that's my second pick of the day. Take it for what it's worth. So last game that I like a lot is taking Chatwood and the Chicago Cubs traveling to Cleveland. All right, so this is really interesting. I knew this was going to be the case, but I wanted to look up the last 3 years for the ERA of Chatwood. What do you think it would be? What do you think Chatwood's ERA would be? You know, he pitched for Colorado, so his home ERA was 6.07. It's really funny. His home ERA was 6.07. He just got shelled at home. But then his away ERA was a 2.57. So it's so funny, these pitchers that pitch in Colorado. I mean, just say goodbye to your ERA. We saw two good pitchers yesterday, just knocking the. I think they scored like 18 runs in that game yesterday. His overall ERA is a 4.27. Away from Colorado, it's a 2.57. So here we are in Cleveland with a team that's not really scoring that much. Chatwood coming into town. Meanwhile, Chicago Cubs, I mean, the last 2 weeks, they've put up a 9 spot, 16 spot, 8 spot, 14 spot, 13 spot. I mean, they've put up a lot of runs. And they have the potential to put up a ton of runs. So I'll back Chicago playing in. Hold on, I'm looking at one final thing here. Yeah, Chicago at a plus 24 run differential. Playing in Cleveland behind the pitching of Chatwood, fading Josh Tomlin. And right now we got it at a plus 105. So that's my final pick. Chicago Cubs plus 105. Devil Rays at a minus 110. Minnesota Twins at a plus 130. And if you got any picks that you like, throw them down in the comments. I'll respond back to those. And good luck, everybody. I'll see you again soon.